fingers. Is hello. We've made it. We are here. It's been 4 years in the making, but I got here finally, and we're gonna keep it pushing. Um, I know you're wondering how we got here. But yeah, so 2020, pandemic hits, and I'm just big. I'm heavy on watching podcasts, and I'm like, people just be chatting. Like they really just be chatting, and I think I can get on something and start chatting too. You know, because I have a lot of stuff I have to say. But no, realistically, I just was like, I feel like God's given me a lot to say. I've lived a life, you know, and I think I could benefit somebody else by getting on a podcast. Beyond my own personal stuff, I feel like I can help somebody, right? And so that's why I'm here. The name of the podcast is called The Pocket Room. I call it the pocket room because I feel like a pocket is a place of like safety almost. It's like a place where you're covered. You know what's in the pocket isn't gonna get wet. Hopefully, it doesn't come out the pocket and drop. You know what I mean? Like a pocket is a safe place, and that's kind of where I want this podcast to be. I want this podcast to be a safe place where I can come and talk to you guys about things that I believe God's shown me or things that I've lived through, and get my own 2 cents, my own little bit of wisdom about it. You know, I'm almost 30. I've lived an interesting life. You know, I'm a pastor's kid, been to church my whole life. I'm Christian. I have 2 kids. I'm married, 5 years in marriage. I've had a lot of friends come and go. I've had a lot of church hurt, a lot of church trauma. Uh, um, I've had a lot of stuff going. I've dealt with a lot of racism in my life. Um, you know, I've had an interesting life. You know, I'm almost 30, and a lot of people talk about their 20s and how they feel like they would never redo their 20s, and I'm not there. You know, 27. I'll be 27 this year. I'm more so at a place of I'm happy that I went through my 20s and I was able to learn what I learned through other people, through my own experiences, through what God tells me, what He showed me. Um, and I just have a lot of things I feel like I can speak on personally. You know, my husband, he's into music as well. He's a part of the CHH community, which is a community. So I'll be kind of talking about that. I'm talking about, of course, being married, having children, friends, being a pastor's kid, being Christian, church hurt, racism, conspiracy theories. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, I'm not gonna lie. I like true crime, so you might get a little bit of that in there too. Whatever I feel like I might want to research or speak on, because true crime can be a whole. You know, really the only podcast I really watch are true crime podcasts, and so I might get into that a little bit. But what I don't want the pocket room to be put in a box. I don't want it to be like there's things we cannot talk about here on this platform. So I'm gonna leave it open. Um, it will be through Christian standpoints. Um, Understand that I don't cuss, but people that come on the show might. And everybody has their own walk in Christ. You know, some people cuss and they're Christian. People don't cuss and they're Christian. Everybody has different spectrums of Christianity. You know, so understand that, and I'll put a disclaimer before we get to videos where people might cuss, because you never knew who might be on the podcast. I'm not gonna make it a small box. Um, if Tom, what's his name, Tim Ross can cuss, is that his name? So can somebody else. But like I said, I don't want to put it in a box. Everybody has their own walks in Christ. You might even get the people here that aren't Christian. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to open the door to have real life discussions through a Christian viewpoint. And that can be with an atheist, that can be with a Christian that cusses, that can be with someone that's like me that grew up in church their whole life. It can be different spectrums, and I want to leave that the way that it is. I want to leave it open like that, because I feel like somebody can get saved through this. I feel like somebody can get help through this. And just being open and honest. I'm big on that. Like, one thing about me is I'm somebody that I will ask questions I know I don't want to know the answer to, but I'd rather have these conversations here than later. You know what I mean? So it's like I might be doing this podcast for my kids one day in the future when they get in their teenage years and they might need some kind of advice. I feel like Adele. Adele was like, I'm writing my album for my kid when he asks questions about, whatever. That's kind of how I feel, like I might have somebody on the show that might talk about, growing up, and they might learn something from that, outside of what I could tell them or teach them. So this can be for anybody, and I want it to be an open space. I want it to be a healing space, a real space. I'm a really real person. I'm not perfect, but I do want to come here and I just want to just be myself. I want others to come here and be themselves and talk about everything. And I want it to be kind of centered around being 20, because I'm in my 20s and I know how difficult 20s can be. It's a really weird place, where you're learning that you're an adult, but you're not fully aware that you're an adult yet. Because I feel like 18 hit me weird, but 21 hit me even weirder because I got married at 21, and so now it was like I'm no longer at my mom and dad's house. I have to pay bills. I have to get my life together, and then I ended up pregnant at like 22. So life hit fast for me, right, when I turned 2021. So I just want to be here to help somebody that might need help, that maybe doesn't have a big sister to talk to, or maybe doesn't have a big brother to talk to. When I have my husband on the podcast, or maybe he has questions about certain things they don't know how to ask the questions for. So that's kind of the point of the podcast. I hope you guys join me. I hope that we can grow as a community, as a family, and just kind of go from there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Please comment. And if you have anything you want me to talk about, I don't mind doing research and finding more information out about certain things. That's just kind of who I am. I don't mind looking into it. I will talk about a lot of different things though, so stay tuned. I hope you guys want to come on the journey with me. It's been a difficult journey to get here, but we're here now. I'm gonna add some clips of my first video I tried to do. I was an emotional wreck. But I am gonna add those clips in because I feel like my mom came in and she encouraged me. I feel like everybody would need something like that. Everyone needs that person in their life that can get them up off the ground when they need help. So I will add that at the end of this, and hopefully you guys come with me on this walk, on this journey, and we can grow and we can talk and discuss. And you might not like everything I have to say, and that's fine, because why? We're human. We're still people. Everyone has freedom of speech. Everyone is entitled to how they feel. And if you don't like what I have to say, of course, comment it. I don't mind. I can take it. Say what you don't like, and that's fine. We can have a discussion. But that's just the truth. I'm gonna be honest with you about how I feel about certain things and how I believe God views certain things through my lens, not through everybody's. But yeah, hopefully you guys can join me on this beautiful journey we're going on, that we started today, and we'll just go from there. Hopefully soon, or when I post this, I'll be on other platforms like on Google Podcasts, stuff like that. But if I am, I put it in the description. Of course, follow me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in the description as well, and we'll just go from there. Hopefully you guys join and you guys will be a part of this beautiful, what's the word I want to use? You guys can be a part of this beautiful transition. This is a big step for me, and we'll just go from there. Bye. You can really, really do this. You really, really can. And you've got to know that it's you that people want to hear from. It's your natural. You can really, really do this. So I need you to set aside everything, because it's somebody that really,
needs to hear this podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pocket Podcast. My name is Holly. um, it's been a process getting here.